Okay, and we're back, and after a quick cigarette break, and I would just like to point out that the first time I went out onto Nick's patio to have a cigarette break, I finished and I stubbed out my cigarette, and Nick came outside, got down on his hands and knees, picked up the cigarette end, put it in the bin in the kitchen, and then told me that I wasn't born in a barn. That's
Okay,
how house proud
That's
Nick
not entirely true.
is. It's entirely true.
First and foremost, I was already out there on the balcony with you. And second of all, you said we weren't born in a barn when you didn't want to drink from the bottle of the wine inside the in the garage.
Yes.
Where I picked a glass off of the shelf, tried to polish it to be clean, and then just broke the stem off it.
Yeah. Nick's environment for brewing wine. What's the term for making wine?
I have no idea.
Distilling wine.
Well, apparently I found out recently that the person who makes wine is called a vintner.
A vintner.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so Nick's process for making wine is it takes place entirely in his garage, and it does kind of. It's not made in a toilet. Okay, everything is very clean. There's lots of there's lots of sterilization capsules around and all that sort of stuff. But the term prison wine did come to my mind a little bit, which is really unusual because Nick's wine is actually really nice.
The really weird thing is that like you become used to mold growing a bit as well.
Yes.
But because you will sterilize the bottle.
Yeah.
Everything's sterilized. You pour the wine out into the bottle, put the lid on. Some wine will get on the bottle. You put it on a shelf, you ignore it for 3 months, you come back and it's covered in like a light fuzz that's been growing in the wine. But that's surplus requirement.
So like if the outside of your wine bottle is moldy, like you're not going to put your lips on it.
Exactly, so yeah. That's why you just clean it afterwards. But so I locked myself out of my house twice last week.
Okay, go on.
Okay. So I was going around to the garage to go do some wine stuff. Yeah. Well, so let's just take some wine bottles out there, like because if you drink a bottle, like it's free bottle.
Yeah.
You know, I drink wine, take it out there, and I grabbed my keys and I grabbed a spare set with the garage key on, and I realized that I had taken my house key off it.
Right. So you were locked out.
To give it to someone else. So I was locked out. So I went down the road to Jazz's. Jazz is a friend of mine who has a spare set of keys because I am the sort of person who will lock themselves out of their house.
This is an occupational hazard.
Well, she used to be my dog walker. So I went down, I got the key, and I came back, and then it was yesterday. I still hadn't remembered that I had taken my key off.
Right, okay.
It's on there now. I had another one cut.
Oh, right. So after locking yourself out twice, you remembered.
I went and had another key cut. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But after locking myself out twice, and this time I'd locked Jazz's key in the house as well.
Even after all these like fail safes and checks and balances that you have on getting yourself locked out, you somehow still manage it.
Yeah, I know. I'm that skilled at being stupid. But so I was locked at my house, and this time I had no one to turn to, so I was trying to think of how could I break into my house, and like I've got all my windows lockable, my front and back door are like multi-point locking device. You pull the handle up and it clicks.
Yeah.
And like the majority of the unlocked windows are non-accessible. Like I'd have to climb up the side of my house. And
Sure.
I remembered that I had a call chute.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I live in a Victorian house, and there is underneath my front mat.
Yes.
There is a metal plate that you can lift up, and it goes down a slide into a room in my cellar that would be filled full of coal.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea about any of this. That's amazing.
I can show it to you when we're done. Usually there's a large, heavy chain that goes off the metal plate and then gets barred and you can't get into the house.
Yeah.
Okay? I hadn't locked it.
Okay.
Which was both disturbing because I hadn't locked it, and if you knew it was there, you could slide down into my house.
Yeah.
I was like, when was the fucking last time I'd locked it? And then the second thing was, I'm gonna have to go down there, aren't I?
Somehow the concept of locks is a bit lost on you. The idea of locks is that they keep other people out and you in. Whereas given that you've locked yourself out of your house so many times, it seems like the purpose of locks is to keep you out of your house, but you don't lock up everything, so it allows anyone else the means into your house. We probably shouldn't broadcast this. We probably shouldn't put this online.
No. I barricaded it now. I have barricaded it, and there's no way in. Which basically means if I ever lock myself out of my house again, I am really screwed. But so I had to go down a coal chute. Now I'm 6'4".
Yes.
I'm quite broad.
Yes, you're a broad guy. You wouldn't look out of place wearing a rugby shirt. Is what
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah. So I could only imagine the anti-birth that took place from the street. This fat man sliding down a Victorian coal chute.
One limb at a time.
No, it was right. Like I put my legs in, I went down and had to try and navigate my shoulders through it. And I got down at the bottom and I realised the entire place was full of broken wood. So I slid down into a pile of broken wood.
This is like the world's least impressive roller coaster theme park, isn't it?
But I realised that there's 2 locks as well.
Okay.
Like the plate wasn't locked, but the actual door to the coal chute was locked.
Oh right, so your situation is you're still locked out. It's just now you're in a narrow airless.
Now I'm in a room from Saw. Like I'm in a small room at the back of the house, filled full of broken shards of wood.
And it's dark and airless.
And it's dark and airless. So I had to kick the door in downstairs to get back into my house.
Oh my god, Nick, please, like, learn how keys and locks work. I mean, come on.
Oh man.
You're a couple of years older than I am, and it's your birthday tomorrow, and I don't lock myself out as much as
I did it twice. It's like I've not done it in years, and I did it twice in
It's like you cashed in all of your like forgetfulness.
Stupid chips.
I picture you at the stupid casino, and like they're dealing the cards out.
I want to put everything on yellow.
Yeah,
it's only red or black.
You're like all in. I've got a Major to the Vineyard and Mrs. Baker from Happy Families, alright? No one's beating this hand.
I've got 2 aces and a set of rules for canasta.
So that's presumably why your hand is a little bit chewed up at the moment.
It's a bit chewed up, yeah. Whilst I have a lot of stuff in my house, I was thinking that it's what you would, in insurance, you call it non-theft attractive objects.
That's such a quietly insulting term, isn't it? Like,
well, the thing is,
non-theft attractable. Like, nobody could possibly want your shit.
Well, the other reason that an object could be like, if you've got a TV worth $3,000 in your house,
sure,
and you've got a painting worth $25,000 in your house,
yeah,
the theft attractive object is the TV.
Yes, exactly.
Because you could steal it and sell it.
It's easier to sell on. Yeah,
not everyone could just palm off a painting.
No.
So that's what theft attractivity is. It's a different.
So it's not even. Yeah. Well, this is interesting because it's like the actual monetary value of an object is essentially irrelevant at that point. It's the intersection between the monetary value of the object and how easy it is to get rid of.
When I was at college, I actually wrote a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
Called "Wait, That's My Bag." Yeah. Okay.
You didn't see. You can't see that, but Nick just did like gun fingers.
But
wait, that's not my bag. Zing.
That's the joke. No, the point was.
It's like you're telling a punchline without doing any of the setup to it.
That's internet comedy. So yeah, in the comedy sketch, a mugger tries to nick one of the characters' bags, and the other 2 guys with him are like, wait a minute. Why don't you try and steal our bags? And they all try and sell their bag to him.
Ah, that's good, yeah.
And they're like, well, my bag's this, well, my bag's this, and my bag's this. And he just nicks somebody else's bag. And they're all like, oh, and he's like, yeah, wait a minute, that guy stole my bag. that is the 3-minute sketch I wrote. It's kind of like that. Could you imagine, like, somebody breaks in your house, steals your, like, PS4, but then ignores the Manet on the wall.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I invested a lot of money in that auction.
You sort of build up a psychological picture of the burglar based on what they took and what they didn't take.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the 2.
PS4's gone, but my original pressing of Sergeant Pepper's hasn't even been touched. I mean, and it's framed there on the wall. I mean,
they don't even know what they were looking at. The Philistines. But
they took Meaty's murder though, so I mean, they've got some taste, evidently.
The Wu-Tan is completely untouched. But they stole my 2-liter bottle of Irish cream. What's going on here?
There's only half of it left.
They broke into my house.
Joke's on them because I have a mouth ulcer and I drank directly from that bottle.
I was thinking, like when I've been burgled once.
Yes.
And they stole. They went room to room to stole the stuff, and they nicked They nick a whole bunch of stuff. They nick like my Xbox. They nick my Xbox games.
It's standard sort of stuff.
Yeah. My DVD player, TV, stuff like that. PSP. That's aging it slightly. Is that you could tell I had a PSP at that time.
Yeah.
And they didn't steal my iPad.
I don't know what that is.
And yeah, no, right. There's a reason.
I was going to say, please.
It'd be kind of like if it was the year 2009 and someone broke in your house and stole all your Blu-rays but left all your HD DVDs alone. Like,
and you're like, okay, I feel like the market has spoken.
Yeah, like the iPad was mine was a HP iPad. It's like a Windows Pocket computer.
Right.
It was like, you could run versions of Word. It was touchscreen and stuff. It was like a tablet before tablets existed.
Yes.
It was the sort of thing that if you bought a pair of Clark's shoes, they would give away a very simple version of it. Like,
oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, it was like a little grey box with a touch screen on it and a little stars.
A little stylus.
Yeah. And I asked for a laptop for for my birthday, and then my stepdad bought me that, and I was like, I'm not an ungrateful bastard to say I want it, but what use is this? And then when you get burgled, they steal everything but that. You're like, they looked at him and went, should have got a netbook.
You feel like in addition to having your privacy violated and having your own home being an unsafe space to live in, you feel like you're also being personally judged.
It's slightly insulted by that. Yeah.
Oh man. When I lived in Canterbury, I really enjoyed living in Canterbury for the most part. This is when I was at university.
I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I was mugged 3 times in as many years.
I was mugged twice.
And it's like, I understand from people who know policemen who work there that Canterbury and generally that kind of Garden of England sort of area is known as Sleepy Hollow because there's so little crime that ever happens.
But the thing is that both times I was mugged were both pathetic events.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of kids, and I say kids.
Yeah.
I was walking home. It was that if you live in Canterbury, you probably know where exactly I'm talking. But the railway leading out one of the train stations has like a little underpass going.
Yeah. So to get into mostly the student residential part of town, you have to go through an underpass.
Yeah, I went through that, and I was like, I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of kids there, and they were like 14, and they all looked 14, and one of them had a bread knife. Right, he had a knife, and it was one of those that was like, it was a cheap bread. It was serrated on one edge, slightly more serrated on the other edge, and 2 prongs of pulling a joint of meat away out the middle. And I was holding it like this. I'm like, I'm being robbed by you people. I am gravely disappointed by this. Like, I thought this is the first time I've been mugged. I'm like, hey, whoa, hold up a second. This is the first time I've been mugged. And he goes, give me your wallet. And I'm like, I'm going to give you the contents of my wallet.
Yes, yeah.
Because I'd like to keep my wallet.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to give you all the money I have on me. That's yours. But I would like to keep my wallet. And like, the cards are useless to you. Yeah. Because I'm going to go home and cancel them. Can I keep them?
You're negotiating with a child's mother.
He's genuinely like, seems fair. So I gave him a $5, right? And he sort of takes the $5 and he's like, now give me your bag. And I'm like, nah. Like, in my bag there is my computer.
Yeah.
And it was when I just bought the netbook, so I'd like, all my writing was on it. I'm like, I'm not going to give that away. And so I'm like, nah, I'm going to give you the bag. And he's like, I'm going to stab you. I'm like, you're not going to stab me because that has got a 2-pronged edge on it used for picking up slices of beef on Sunday, And then there's like footsteps and these 2 Canadian people are there, and they're like two guys who just walked in and like, oh geez, is this a mugging? I'm like, yeah, I'm being mugged by these guys. and these 3 kids are like, run, and they run off. And these guys are like, are you alright? I'm like, yeah.
I just lost a $5.
I've gained an anecdote that I can say on a podcast 8 years from now. So we then all went for a drink at the Old Beverly, and I have their phone numbers. We added each other on Facebook. It was a good night.
Maybe the real muggers were the friends we met along the way.
The second time I got mugged...
The second time we got mugged. Mugging stories with Nick Gonzo.
The second time I got mugged was a bloodbath.
Is this a story you really want to tell?
I was drunk, and the guy trying to mug me, so I just punched him in the face. Like, I didn't even blink. Like, my body was running on autopilot. But his mate came at me, so I kicked him in the dick.
I like to imagine. You said that you're running on autopilot at this point. I like to imagine that like you feel the fist going forwards, and you're already lining up the apology before you hit it.
Like, sorry. In like slow motion. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Kick to the groin.
Okay, enough stories.
Enough violence tales.
Exactly. Enough stories about toxic male upon male violence.